other people can watch. All right. All right, so this is session 2 of our MicroPD Canvas series. And I just realized my name is spelled wrong on the title slide, which is fine. It's okay. I am going to mute everybody for a second. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward in our presentation. All right, so today's objectives, we will be discussing tips on how to navigate using Canvas along with the other curriculum components that we have, like Think Central, ConnectEd, and EdLearning. Unfortunately, they don't talk to each other, so we're going to talk today about any ideas that we or you might have about how to navigate these platforms in conjunction with one another. We are going to talk about Office 365 integration with Canvas. We're going to explore the quizzes tool and all the functionality of that. And we're going to talk about how to share and import content in Canvas. So those are the things we're talking about today, which means we got to move at a pretty perky pace. But if you do have any questions while we're going, feel free to type those in the chat. Ms. Lynch and I will both try to monitor that, and we'll definitely answer your questions before we log out. All right. First thing is curriculum integration. All right, so our adopted curriculum platforms do not speak or talk to Canvas. So what exactly does that mean? So assignments that we make in any of those platforms do not transfer into Canvas. And if we link to something in Canvas to one of these platforms, it will not open directly in Canvas. It will take them out of Canvas and make them log into those other curriculum platforms. So there are ways that we can get around that. The easiest way would be to teach our students how to open those tiles from ClassLink in the mornings when we get there. So we open Canvas, we open our Think Central, we open ConnectEd, whatever it is that we're going to use for the day, and teaching them how to navigate to their to-do list section instead of teaching them everything about the system. Maybe just focus them in on exactly where it is they need to go when they log in, so that they're not overwhelmed by all of the stuff that's on those platforms, because Wonders in particular does give them quite the show when they log in. It's very busy and very colorful and engaging, and it makes them want to click on all of the buttons. But we need to make sure they know where to go, which is just their to-do list, because that's where you're going to assign anything they need, or the resources section, which is where they would get their textbooks from if you did not assign them. Let me move forward. Curriculum integration part 2. So in addition to just using them side by side with one another, there are ways that we can learn to recreate some of those materials in the Canvas system, or using a different tool and then putting them in the Canvas system. For example, we can take screenshots, we can create editable PDF assignments, we can use Office 365 cloud server to assign Word documents or PowerPoints or Excel sheets for our students to work in and submit back to us. And we can use the quizzes tool to recreate worksheets or tests or activities or learning progression check-ins, really anything you want to do. So 2 of these items are highlighted because those are 2 things that we're talking about today. So we are going to talk about Office 365 and how to integrate that and how to use the quizzes tool. Screenshots and editable PDFs are something that we will talk about in other PD sessions. If those are things that you're interested in, be on the lookout for those. Sorry, I'm turning my walkie off. I don't want to hear that right now. There are other websites that we can also use if we can download like a PDF from GoMath or a PDF from Wonders, and we can put them in websites that are built for student digital annotation, and then they can submit them to you that way. Websites like ClassKick or Kami, K-A-M-I. That one was shared by Miss Boston today. Class Kick, Kami, and Nearpod also will let them show their work to you on certain features. So we will do PDs on those types of things as well in the next few weeks. So also be on the lookout for those. Right, let's move forward. All right, so we are going to jump to talk about the quizzes tool for a moment. We will jump back to our Office 365 conversation when we actually go to Canvas and are looking at the website. So the quizzes tool is not just for quizzes. Just because you make it in the quizzes tool doesn't mean that you have to take it as a quiz grade. That's not what it means. It really should just be called the content creator, I think, because it does way more than just make a quiz. So there are many, many types of questions or tasks that you can create using the quizzes tool. So there's categorization, so putting things in categories, file upload. So if they had worked on a project and they can't upload their file, a math formula, matching, multiple choice, ordering, which is sequence, essay questions, fill in the blanks, hotspots, which is where they would select certain items on an image. Multiple answer would be like those multi-select, select the best 3 options or select 2. Numeric would be if they were typing in answers to a math question or needed to type a math formula, and true or false. So those are all of the different types of questions that we can use in the quizzes tool, and we'll go over that in more detail when we get to the Canvas website. The last thing down there is called a stimulus, and a stimulus can be really anything to stimulate thinking. So it's anything that the students might need in order to answer the questions that are attached to the stimulus. So for example, the Wonders tests on Canvas, the stimulus is the first story, and then there are like 6 questions attached to that story, but it only shows one at a time when the students are taking it. A stimulus could also be a video, an audio file, an image. It could be anything. It uses the rich content editor, and you can put pretty much anything you want as a stimulus, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a few minutes as well. But don't just think the quizzes tool is solely for quizzes, because that is a misconception. All right, moving on. All right, sharing is caring. First of all, I really like that graphic and I want to print it on something. Canvas allows you to share and import content from either other courses that you have, from your colleagues and their courses that they've shared with you, or from the Commons library that is built into the Canvas system. So the first thing that we are going to do is talk about sharing and importing when we get to the website. Then we're going to look at the quiz tool. Then we're going to look at Office 365. So went in this order, so now I'm going to go backwards. All right, so we're going to Canvas. Now, we stop sharing that PowerPoint with you and begin sharing Canvas with you. All right, thumbs up if you can see that screen. Excellent, or shake your head. No. All right, cool. So this is just our home page. So when we share and import something, we have to use the little menu that is next to whatever we're trying to share. So, oh, it's frozen up on me. We can share modules, you can share pages, you could share quizzes, you can share assignments, you can share discussions, you can share collaborations. You can share pretty much anything you want, any file, anything in Canvas. So I'm just gonna go to my Pages tab. Maybe. So it's up there. I'm already on the Pages tab. That's why. View all pages. And let's say I want to share something with Miss Domingos. All right, so you would find what it is that you're looking for as soon as the internet lets us see it. So let's see, Miss Domingos, let's share something with you, and let's share the page that says Sample Teacher Home Page. So whatever you want to share, look over to the far right, and where the 3 dots are, that's the More menu or the Options menu. So when you click on that, you'll see Delete, Edit, Use as Front Page, Duplicate, Send to, or Copy to, or Share it to the Commons. Share it to the Commons, you'll have to select whether you want anybody on Canvas to view it, or whether you only want it to be available to Leon County Schools Canvas users. Okay, so make sure you notate that when you share to the Commons. If you want to send it directly to a colleague, you're going to click Send to. So right now I'm going to click that, and I'm going to send this to Miss Domingos. And Miss Domingos, you're welcome to delete this if you don't want it. So as soon as this comes up, you can start typing the first or last name of the person you're sending it to. They will auto-populate with their Leon County Schools ID. So if you're looking for Reynolds, if you type Reynolds, you're going to get a lot of different options because it's anybody in our school system with the last name Reynolds or first name Reynolds. So you would want to type Reynolds E, you know, just like you would to email her, and it will start populating. All right, so once you found the person or people that you want to send it to, because you can send it to multiple people at once. So I'm going to also add Miss Brown on here, even though Miss Brown already has a fabulous homepage, so she does not need this. All right, Brown D9 is her email prefix, so that's what shows up. So she's Donna Y. Brown. We select her name, and then you just hit send. It will say starting content share, and then it will tell you if it was successful. Yep, content shared successfully. All right. Now, in order to get the content that you were shared, you go to your account at the very top, go to account, and then shared content. Once that loads, it will give you a list of anything that has been shared with you. And it will allow you to preview it, import it into your course, or remove it from the list. So this is some stuff that Ms. Jerkins sent me, a colleague at Kate Sullivan sent me a few things, and our ELA developer has sent over a few things as well. So let's say I want this module imported from Ms. Jerkins because I want to use that. So I would click on the action button or the menu button again, and that's where I could either see a preview of it, see what it is that she sent me, or import it or remove it. So if I want to import, I select import, and then I have to pick which course I want it to go to. Okay. Yes.
Depending on the view on their screen, let me just unmute. If your screen is set up like mine right now, where all of the little bubbles with everybody's face in it is off to the right-hand side, you probably can't see what he's doing right now. But if you use the bar at the top of it, it will slide over. You can move it all around your screen. So if your little, I couldn't because my rectangles of people were in there. Mine were off to the side. So if yours are not at the top and they're off to the side like mine are, you might have not been able to see what he was doing, but you can easily just move.
Oh, I'm muted. All right, thank you, Ms. Lynch. Once we select our course.
Dr. Flanagan, can you go extension 108?
All right, so you see all of these courses in here because I was added, Ms. Lynch and I were both added as a TA to all of your courses, so we can get in there and do stuff with you and see your content. So you would pick which class and then you're done. All right, so that is how you share things and how you would receive the content that you shared. So let's go explore the quizzes tool. Right, to get to quizzes tool, you go to your course and then scroll down to the quizzes navigation button. Give that a click. Nope, I clicked on the wrong thing, didn't it? Yep. All right. So it will show all of the quizzes that you've created. And then up at the top, you can add a new quiz. So when you go to add a quiz, it is going to ask you if you want to use classic quizzes or new quizzes. My recommendation and the recommendation of the district is that you use the new quizzes. There are more question types in the new quizzes. This description that it's providing you is from 3 years ago. This description is old. So the new quizzes now uses SpeedGrader. It uses third-party tools. It exports it in a CSV. So all of these differences that they're describing to you are no longer true. The new quizzes can do those things as well. So I would select new quizzes, and you can tell it to remember that choice for this course so that it will never ask you that question again. And then you click submit. All right. Then you give the assignment a name. So let's give this an assignment. So like test assignment, set the number of points. Tell it where you want it to group your assignment. I don't have assignment groups, so it's just going in assignments. Display the grade as a percentage, complete or incomplete, a certain number of points, just a letter grade or a GPA scale. That's not really something that we'll use, but there are different options for you. Mine is just defaulted to points. You could also select to not count this assignment towards the final grade at all. Okay, so the submission type will automatically be locked into an external tool because the new quiz feature is an external tool that's contracted with Canvas. So that won't be able to be changed. You can select the number of attempts that students are allowed to do on the assignment, a limited number. You can limit them to 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, or you can say they have an unlimited number of attempts. So it's up to you and depends on what kind of assignment you're giving them. If it's something where they're going to have to go back and redo something, I would leave it at either unlimited or limit them to a few different times. If it's a test or something, then we're gonna wanna say limited to 1 because we are not gonna let them go back into that. Not without grading it first. All right, then we can choose who you want to assign it to. If you don't want to assign it to anybody right now, I think you can just say everyone and then you'll just save it. You just won't publish it, okay? You can put in when it's due and you can put in when this quiz will start showing up for students and when it will disappear. I would not put your expiration date within a week of the due date because if you have any students that are absent, they're gonna need a few days to go in and be able to complete that assignment. So I would give yourself at least a week out from the due date to set the expiration date. Right, once I have to select the due date, it won't let me move forward without doing that. So I'm just gonna say it's due date. Then we're gonna save it. Then it will bring you to the quiz builder, or the content builder, we should say. Okay. This has my title in there, test assignment. You can add instructions right here as well if there are directions that you need to put in before they see any of the stimuli or any of the content on your activity. You can put in your directions right here. So let's say, please complete the assignment to the best of your ability. Okay. You can insert images, upload videos, link to anything in the instructions. This is the rich content editor that you have when you're creating pages. So you can put a video of yourself giving the directions if you needed to. Or if you had a video that you wanted them to watch before they answered the questions or looked at the stimuli, you could also put that up there. Okay, so we click done. And then we have to click this little blue plus button on the bottom to start adding content. And once we get in there, we have to select what type of question or activity we want, or we can choose to add a stimulus, okay? So if you're gonna add a stimulus, you don't always need a stimulus. So you might just have some questions that you want them to answer. But anytime it's like a passage and some questions, or a ReadWorks passage with a few questions, you can put that in Canvas, and you could take a screenshot of the passage, or just copy and paste the passage into the stimulus creator. So let's look at what creating a stimulus would look like. Have to give it a title, sample stimulus, any instructions that go with this specific stimulus. So let's say, look at the image and answer the questions. Okay, so down here is your rich content editor, and that is where you can insert text. You can copy and paste a passage into that. Be careful when you copy and paste a text into the rich content editor. Sometimes it doesn't keep your paragraphs spaced out. So you'll have to go back in and like find the end of a paragraph and enter it down because it just puts it all as one big paragraph. Sometimes you might have to do a little editing, but you could also take a screenshot of the text and then use the upload media button to put that picture right in there. So it's a picture of the text instead of you copying and pasting it in. Either way works just fine, as long as the picture you put in is high enough quality for them to be able to read the text off of it. Okay, so let's just put in a picture. Let's find one. Go to our downloads and we'll use this. That works. There, we'll use this SAC image. Okay, then you click import and it will plop it right down there in your stimulus box. And then if you want that image to be bigger or smaller, you can always resize it once you get it in there. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. And then scroll down and click Add Stimulus. If you don't go down there to click Add Stimulus, it won't save it. All right, so we have a sample stimulus over here. And then let's say we want to attach some activities or some questions to that stimulus. We go over here and click Attach Question. And it will then give you the options to choose what type of question or what type of activity you want to put in for your students. Let's go with multiple choice for now, just because that's one of the most simplistic ones. Okay, and then you give the question a title. One thing to note, when your students are taking the test, they will not see this title that you put in. So this is just for, they only see that it's number 1. They won't see anything you put in the title box. Okay, all right, question stem goes right here, so the actual question. And once you have clicked in there, you'll see that it is also a rich content editor. And you can put in a video, you can put in an image, you can record yourself, you can put in a table full of data that they have to analyze. I mean, it's just pretty unlimited, the amount of things that you could put into this box. So your questions could be in the form of videos, they could be in the form of an audio recording of you reading a question to them. And then you could also have the written question in the box as well. So much that you can do. Then you go down, put in the answers, and then select on the left which answer is the right one. So make sure you select the correct answer on the left-hand side. Students will not see this. Again, this is just for you. Make sure you select the right answer. Keep scrolling down. You can choose to show an on-screen calculator, vary points by answer, or shuffle the answer choices, so that if you have got students that could see each other's computers, their answer choices are in different orders, so they can't cheat off of each other. Align to outcomes. means that you are tagging a standard to that question. So if you want to be able to pull a report on this activity and see if they've mastered a certain standard, you're going to want to align it to an outcome. Okay? Before you can align to outcomes, you have to have gone and imported outcomes into your course. Okay? And I'll send out information on how to do that. Okay, but once you have them in your course, it's very easy. You click Align to Outcome, it'll bring up a search bar, and then you just put in the outcome you want. So let's say we're doing 4th grade standard RI 1.2, which is the standard for theme. Okay, well that did work. 4.RL what do? Is that what I meant to do? Oh, I don't have any outcomes imported in this course. I just told you that you would have to do that, and I don't have it done. It's because I've been making all my samples in my sandbox, not in this. So if I had outcomes in my course, I could search for them here and then click Done. It's very easy. And then scrolling even further, you can assign a specific number of points to this question. So let's say this is worth 5 points. And then this button here, if we click that, it looks like a little dialogue button, a little chat box. Come on. When you click on that, this is where you can input student feedback. Okay, so for a correct answer, they'll get this feedback. And you can also put in feedback they get if they answer it incorrectly. So you can already preload some feedback into the system that it will tell the students from you if they get it right or wrong. Okay. Possible general feedback, regardless of what their answer was, you could put down here. And I think that's all the boxes. And then you click Done. And as soon as you're finished with that question, you're going to want to click Done. Come on. Keeps freezing up. Anyway, you would click Done. And if you want to attach another question, you can attach another question to that stimulus. If you have another stimulus that you want to put in for the other questions, you can go back down to the blue button, add another stimulus below this one, and attach questions to that stimulus. It will only show them the questions for a specific stimulus. It will not show them everything at one time. So if there's a stimulus over here and you've attached 2 questions to it, it will show them the first question. If they answer it, then it will show them the second question. Then it will show them the next stimulus and the question that goes with that. So it won't confuse them. It'll be very clear. All right, so that is the quiz tool. There are some chat questions here.
Most of them have been taken care of.
Okay. How do we add apps to our navigation bar? Oh yeah, when you're in your course, choose settings. Yep, Ms. Lynch took care of that. If you use snipping tool, does it save as JPEG or PDF? It saves mine as a PNG image. But I think when you use the snipping tool, you can select to save it as a JPEG or a PNG or a PDF, or there's lots of different options. So I think you can choose how you want it to save. Yep. Oh, Reynolds already answered that question too. Sorry. All right, guys. So that is the quiz tool. So you can do a lot with that. I have already worked on your turn practice pages that I created in the quiz tool. I've done some learning progression, main idea level check-ins. I've done a couple different assignments in here with like a ReadWorks passage and the questions that go with it, an inquiry where there's an image and they have to, in an essay box, just describe their observations and what they think is happening. I mean, just so many different things that you can use this for. All right, and we of course are available for further tutorial should you need that. All right, but let's use our last 15 minutes to talk Office 365 integration, because that was something I could not wait to learn how to do. So you guys might be in the same boat. So the first thing you need to know is what it can do for you. So it basically connects Canvas to your OneDrive or Canvas to your student's OneDrive. And you can assign something from your OneDrive, whether it's a Word document for them to complete, a PowerPoint that they need to edit on the page, a worksheet that you've put in PowerPoint that they need to type on, anything you want. It will open it for them. It will save a copy of it to their OneDrive account. And then they have the option to submit it to you directly when it opens. So they don't have to go anywhere else. Okay, Ms. Lynch is going to show us an example of what that looks like from a student point of view, because I made her a student in the course so that she could show. Yes, hold on, let me stop sharing. And Ms. Lynch will share her screen. You can go ahead.
All right, so this is our student view. So depending on what routines I have been given teacher, I would start by clicking on my pages.
Yeah, she's navigating to where this thing is that she needs to get to. You won't have your students do all this clicking.
Yeah. They'll just follow their routines. Oops. So the activity that he's put on here is a sample morning check-in. So you can see he's got his homepage here. I'm just going to come down and then click directly on the morning check-in. It's going to be linked to it for me. All right, and so my directions are to complete the journal prompt in the online PowerPoint. And so I will click my prompt. Hopefully it will load faster for your students. So if you look at a couple things on the screen, you can see I had already answered some of Monday's questions. I didn't go all the way. And if you look in the top left-hand corner, you can see the timestamp and date stamp of when I submitted that to my teacher. So now I'm ready to do another day. I'm going down and navigating the slides at the bottom of the screen. I see there's my Tuesday warm-up, and here is Wednesday. So if I'm up in the top right-hand corner, that's where that submit button is. And I'm going to open it back because it's a multi-day document that I want to be able to use. Get over to that day. Oops, I went too far, sorry. Got excited. And then right here directly, I can go ahead and start, it's not, oh, I forgot a step. I'm so sorry, that's what's happening yesterday. So I need to first click edit presentation. Thank you. And I'm just gonna edit it in my browser. I don't wanna edit it in PowerPoint. I don't need it to pop up with the application. If I do it right here, it stays directly in my browser.
And your students will not have the application, so they won't be able to even open it in real PowerPoint on a Chromebook. It'll force open it in the browser anyways.
Yeah. I'll go to my slide that I need. I can edit it. I would rather be a bird because I could fly. So I've got my answer in there. Oh wait, it opened it even further. I'm sorry. I couldn't see. There we go. Sorry. I didn't realize that it was opening it like that because it took away my submitting.
This did not happen.
No, it worked very
This did not
smoothly
happen,
yesterday.
people.
It went very seamlessly. All right, so then I can go ahead and edit once it's loaded. I'd rather be a bird because I can fly. And then up at the top, that's where I've got it here. I'll click submit. It's going to send it directly to my teacher. I am done. It's told me I've submitted. I have a confirmation, a date and timestamp as well. And I'll just tell them I'm finished and close that out. If I wanted to continue to edit, maybe I just changed my mind. Obviously, you could see there was the option to continue to do so at that point.
Oh, I'm muted. Okay. All right. So let me reshare my screen. There's someone in the waiting room called HES student.
Oh.
I don't want them in here. Who are they? Who is this? I'll ask them. All right, let me reshare my screen with you and we'll go over what that looks like from a teacher point of view and how to create an assignment that looks like that. So I know that it kind of got a little wonky there for a second. So I wrote down, when your students click on the assignment, they'll need to click open, then edit PowerPoint. And then once they're done editing, they will hit submit. So open, edit, submit. 3 keywords that you need to know. They open it, edit it, they submit it. Okay. First few times, it might not work the way that you want it to, but please don't give up on it. It won't work until you get better at it. And the students get better with the routines and they know what to do. So don't give up on it because it is a really great tool. It's Mr. Mills testing a student computer. Got it. Thank you, Ms. Mills. All right, so from a teacher's point of view, one of the first things you guys need to know is that you need to personally connect your Office 365 account, okay? And then you're gonna have to have your students do this exact same thing. So your students have to click on Office 365 in the navigation bar. You'll have to put that, drag it into the navigation bar so that they can see it along with yourself. Once you click on Office 365, mine, I think, has already been connected. Yeah, so if I log out, it should show you what it looks like on your end. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so this is what it will look like. It'll ask you to log in because you haven't connected, and your students will have to do this as well. Their login for Office 365 is their login for ClassLink. So they will log in using their student ID at edu.leonschools.net. Their password is their lunch pin. Okay. There we go. All right, so once you're logged in, it will show you your OneDrive. So you'll know that you're connected, and it will show the students their OneDrive so that they will know they're connected. Theirs won't have hardly anything in it, or if anything at all. It will automatically create a folder for you called Canvas, and it will house that in your OneDrive. And anything you do from Canvas as a part of 365, it will save in this Canvas folder, okay? So anything that your students complete, any of like that PowerPoint assignment, it would be in this folder if they needed to go and access it again. Okay, and you can help them find that folder. It will be right in the first part of their OneDrive. So until they have logged in to their Office 365 with that login, they will not be able to open those documents that you assign in. Okay, so once you've connected your Office 365 and once you've had your students connect, you can create an assignment that is linked to Office 365. So you will go to Assignments. And we go to add assignment. Miss Lynch just sent some follow-up information in the chat if you guys want to read that. Students will not have to click open, they only will have to click edit and then submit. If you're using this feature with students that currently have a desktop, they will need to click open in web browser. The desktops do not have the applications, and the Chromebooks definitely do not have the application. All right, so we are in assignments. We've clicked on create new assignment, gonna give it a name. I'm just gonna name it name. Go away, pop up. Okay. Any instructions for the assignment would go in the rich content editor, instructions here. Again, you can put in videos, audio clips, links, whatever you want into those instructions. Set your points, set what you're gonna display it as. In order to make it an Office 365 cloud assignment, you're gonna select external tool. Okay, external tool. And then you're gonna click find. And then it's gonna ask you which tool you want to use, okay? Don't let this connected thing fool you. It doesn't work. Okay, so it says connected, but it's a lie. Don't try it. Or you can try it. Maybe it'll eventually work. You're gonna scroll down to Office 365 Cloud Assignment. And then it will bring up your linked OneDrive account. Eventually. Ah, there it is. And then you just navigate within your OneDrive folders to find the file that it is that you want to assign them. So whether it's a graphic organizer in a Word document, whatever it is, you find that document in your OneDrive. So I'm just gonna click this 3rd grade student standard tracking requirements because it's there and it's a Word document. And so I click the checkbox and click attach file. We are almost done, guys. I know our time is ticking away. Right, so once that is done, you'll have to come down and click select. It looks like it did not really do anything, but it did. So it's still in there. So you just click select. Okay, and it has saved it in there for you. So you don't have to do anything else to that. And then if you want it to load in a new tab so that it doesn't take them away from Canvas or that it doesn't change the page from Canvas, it'll open in a new tab so they still can go back to Canvas. You can select that box. I would recommend having it open in a new tab so that they don't have to go back to ClassLink and log back into Canvas. They can just close the tab and go right back. Check the number of attempts. I left the one that Miss Lynch just showed you on unlimited because it was a morning work PowerPoint that they were going to access every day. So they need to be unlimited attempts so that they can continue going back into it and editing those things each day. So that's a way that you could do like a daily check-in or a document that is continued throughout a unit of study. Then choose who you're assigning it to, the due date, when you want it to show up, when you want it to expire, and then you publish it and you save it. And then you link to that assignment for your babies, just like you would anything else. And that's it. External tool, Office 365, select your file, and it does the rest of the work for you. So when students open it, if you have selected Office 365 Cloud Assignment, it will save a copy to their OneDrive so that they can edit it and send it back to you, and it will not mess up your original file. Right, we got something in the chat. Can you link an assignment to any supported external tool you add to the navigation bar? Yes, most of them. So if we go back into this external tool feature, you know, there's Cengage Learning, ClassLink, ConnectEd, a Graph Builder, Kahoot, Khan Academy, Nearpod, OneNote, Quizlet, Sign School, SlideShare, White Pages, not sure what that is, things. If there is another tool that you want that's not on this list, all you have to do is put in the website right there. And then click select, and it will use that as well. All right, let me get out of this. All right, do you guys have any other questions about Office 365 integration, the quizzes tool, sharing content, or Think Central, ConnectEd, and Ed Learning stuff? Ms. Jones?
So where you had Nearpod there, if I link an assignment, do I have to put, I don't have to put the link to the assignment, I just put the link to Nearpod and give them instructions?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep, you just tell it, it'll take them to Nearpod, and then in the instructions, you could paste the little code, or you can just tell it to them. Yep.
I have a question.
Right.
When
Yes, Miss Reynolds, was that you?
Yes. When you, how do you get, okay, so some content was shared with me, but when I go to like preview the content or something, it tells me that I don't have the correct external tool. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you think that that is something where it has been linked to like Nearpod and
Perhaps.
actually she hasn't added that, but that shared content did?
Yeah, so Miss Lynch is saying if it's an external tool that, like if something in that content is linked to an external tool that you haven't added to your course, that might be what it's talking about. What is it? Do you know what the external tool is that it wants?
Well, no, I actually just tried to look at the Wonders assessments that you sent me, and it says the same thing. External tool content can't be previewed.
Oh, right. It won't show you a preview of it, of those tests. You'll have to import them before you can see them.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what I need to do instead of.
I don't know why they do that. Yeah, they won't show you a preview of those tests for some reason. That's something that is odd. I don't know why. But once you import it, you should be able to do anything you want to it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, anybody else? And of course, you can always think about it and ask us later if you think of questions. And we can help you set up any of this or get you started the first time if you want some assistance or a hand to hold as you get started. We'll try to do, I don't know if we'll have time for 2 next week. We might only do 1 MicroPD, but we'll talk about, I made a note to talk about adding external tools into your navigation bar. So make sure we talk about that if you guys can't figure that out. I know Miss Lynch put it in the chat, but you never know. Sometimes it's just hard. All right, guys, I'm gonna close this out, and I hope you have a great day. Great afternoon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.